Autumn here on your Friday. It is. Now, I just have a couple of things I just want to kind of go into, and I'm a little bit out of view because I am a little bit in, I am en route, as I tend to do some of these morning buzzes, but I did entitle this one strategic, and it should be more like strategic, or a strategic with a question mark. Now I'm just saying, like, okay, I just want to kind of paraphrase this. Of course, you guys will do your due diligence, but it looks like there's a lot of egregious things that are going on in our country based on the type of dare I say, leadership or that we're under at this point. And it's pretty egregious, and I'm not sure how you feel about it, but it looks like there's a report that's been released on various sources, but the one that I'm going to paraphrase from, it comes from the Washington Free Beacon. And for those of you, good morning, top of the morning to you. I'm not ignoring you. As soon as I can, reach some comments, I will. If not, thank you so much for coming in. However, it appears that this the Joe Biden regime has released 1 million barrels from the SPR, which I'm using that in short for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, after telling the people of the American people that such release from that particular reserve would be to ease the pain at the pump. We did quite a bit of talk on the pain at the pump. In fact, that's a living and breathing call. If you guys want to make it at any time, you can always make the call about, write in, make the call about your pain at the pump. Okay. We're our own. We have a gas buddy network, a live gas buddy network around here. So, but yeah. So after telling the people back in March that these barrels of oil from the SPR would be used to relieve the pain at the pump for the American people, looks like it's been sent to China, a control state, and that actually a control is it Sinopec? Like I said, do your due diligence. It's on the Washington Free Beacon. That is the source. Okay, Sinopec. This was supposed to be a part of relief, but somehow the Chinois has managed to get their hands on 1 million barrels of that precious commodity. Meanwhile, the kitchen table folks, as they like to coin, are they're catching hell, to put it in, for the lack of a better word. I'm gonna be honest. Here's just an anecdotal from me. I mean, I've seen tons of people on the side of the roads with gas cans. I've seen that. I've seen an increase of people on the side of the road with gas cans, because people are literally rationing themselves, probably to work, to take care of their kids, to get groceries. That's what's going on. But apparently there were supposed to be 5 million, was it 5 million barrels? But how this company, the Chinois company, ended up getting 1 million barrels. And not to mention that this particular, I guess, is a conglomerate. This particular the Chinois controlled company also purchases oil from, you guessed it, they purchase Russian oil. But it's all, we've been talking about Putin all the time. Everything, if somebody cuts a fart in them, guess whose fault it is? But I'm just saying, what is the strategy? What is the strategy? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some other nations didn't receive that oil, that it was sold, or what are they doing? Are you guys still resting your? Are you putting your trust into the Congress? I mean, this is a huge. This is criminal. This is quite criminal. This is a crisis, right? In a crisis, what are they doing? They're using the crises to manipulate, rob, deceive the people. I mean, is that not true? And see, I'm just saying, but it wouldn't be the first time. This wouldn't be the first time that a kingship, or a regime. As I said, the genesis of this channel, I used to talk a lot about, I used to drop that word constitution quite a bit. I used to talk about how there were tons of violations and foreign entanglements. Well, it's been going on forever, right? Our trade agreements, there's all types of entanglements. Our uranium was sold by another personality who's got her face back in the news. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, we are totally entangled with Le Chinois. And I am saying that because I'm trying to avoid the AI, the AI. That's why I'm trying to avoid some dingers. But yeah, it's not the first time we've been violated. But see, this is also, it kind of brings me back to another point, something that I covered a while back, in which that whole when 5G came up some time ago, and the concern not that Huawei was installed, was controlled. And where are your senators and your House reps on this? Where are they? This Daniel Turner, was it the founder of the Power of the Future, or Future of the something like that? Some of these energy hacks, it's just an outright lie. Look at your gas pump. Look at it. And look at the number of yellow bags. That's another thing you might want to check out. Check out the number of yellow bags that are on the gas pump when you try to get some oil. So the Sinopec and all this stuff is just another, to me, another kickback, another corrupt situation that we're dealing with. It's just another vessel. These organizations, these worldwide organizations, they are just padding. They're padding this regime, and they're also putting the world in a much better place than the rest of us. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the big if Ukraine didn't get any oil as well. I'm just saying. What is it? Zelensky said he wants a 24/7 relief and aid and help. Just say, I mean, listen, this is food for thought. You guys do your due diligence, and I know you will, and I'm sure you have. I'm sure this is usually not news to you guys. Either you guys are on it, or you've been on it, or you're always on the trail, because we follow, we always pick up where we left off. We're rarely ever starting at the on the mark, right? Around here. Those of you that have been around for a little bit. Also, this is to I'm going to tag you guys back in. Apparently, the Gun Owners Association had the boomstick owners, because if you're a boomstick owner, then you've been compromised for their benefits. So we'll see how Gavin Newsom, anything. I told you, the Golden Coast, courtesy of Newsom and his pain. But I was thinking, what leaders have done anything? Are you waiting for some kind of that's going to happen. This liberal world, and shout out to Mr. Pearson, Mr. Franchot Pearson. He really brings out, he really brings things together. He really has added another layer. But, you know, I apologize for the connectivity issues, but it is because I am on the road. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you. So check out the Washington Free Beacon on the 1 million barrels of oil sold to the Chinois, and the company that also buys oil from the Ruskies. So I'm just saying, you know, is that not a foreign entanglement? Is that not, you know, in a crisis, this is what your leader does. And you can see there's uprisings, and I'm trying not to get all over the place, but you can see there's uprisings all over the world right now. But this, I swear, what is it the company that made the sleep drugs? There probably is a distributor of Bayer aspirin, or something, like a subsidiary of Bayer aspirin, but it's like Sleepinol, or we are at literally, it's pretty amazing. I think we've talked about Bezmenov, and just the ideological subversion, and we talked about the demoralization, and we've talked about how effective that has been, and look at where we are right now. But I tell you one thing, you're gonna see something, you're gonna be in the model. I've used that before when I talked about the movie Beetlejuice from back in the 80s, where, you know, there's a scene where they think that they've clicked their heels 3 times, for the lack of a better word, and they realize they're not they're out of reality, but they're in the model. Well, okay, we're in the model right now, and I don't know, are people, there's no such thing to me at this point. Waking up is not enough. Waking up is just not. It's I made another reference to the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, in which Short Round, the character Short, you know, he basically swipes Indiana Jones with a torch to bring him out of the dark sleep of the Kali. At this point, that's about, there is no wake up. There is no waking up for many of these people. They are completely bewitched. They are completely bewitched. And they are completely convinced that these people, oh, here's another side note. I saw something about Denzel Washington, about, you know, there's all these medals of medals of freedom, or some National Medal of Freedom, or something that they're giving these. It looks like Denzel Washington kind of snub, right? I don't know whether it's a snub or not, because I don't put in that he thinks he aligns himself with, but I'm just thinking that he's, in fact, Elise, who came out and said that, you know, said that, oh, millions of babies will live now, you know, basically, praise God, hallelujah. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I think a lot of people are tired of the evil empire, tired of all the players. They're just tired of it. They are tired of it. But as they come crashing down, they're going to bring down some people down with them too. They're going to bring down a lot. So you just have to be strong in your faith, whatever that is, people. Strong in your values, you know, if you have any. If you're new here, if you're not, you know, no matter what you believe, you gotta hold fast to that. You gotta stand your ground, because, you know, the storm is certainly is within range. But hope you guys are off to a great start to your Friday. Friday/weekend, and if I get a chance, I'll try to share that actual story with you guys from not the story, but the actual letter from the San Diego gun owners regarding the data breach, the data leak, and who's going to be held accountable for that? You see what I mean? It's just, and then here's the other thing. Now, here again, once is another shout out to Mr. Pearson, but also to the JBS. When they talk about history, and we've talked about if history, I'm quoting, paraphrasing, and trying to quote Mr. Tolstoy, where he says, history would be a wonderful thing if it were true. Okay, so we know what communist tactics are, but we also know a part of when there's a takeover underway, when there's an impending takeover, they want to make it seem like, in your society, when you establish yourself as a nation or a civilization, you have medicine, you have a standing army, you have some type of governing whatever. Well, I won't even say that, but they are making it seem as though, or they want it to appear, which I think they're right, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to continue this whole concept to me of a liberal world order is narcissism, is what it is. They want you to see things, they want you to ride with them on things, even if it's going to ultimately destroy you. That's not empathizing. If you want to help someone, but yet you're destroying yourself at the same time. All this whole disingenuous thing about democracy. How can you help someone else? That means you can't see it through, right? And they pull you under while you're trying to save them, and they end up destroying themselves. So you got two deaths on your hands. So I'm just saying, it is disingenuous. It really is. So I'm trying not to go off on a tangent here, but I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of faith in these institutions. And I wouldn't be the first or the second to say. I won't be the last to say. But they're destroying, everything is basically crumbling. It's literally crumbling. Third world living. When the cost of gas and food is so expensive that nobody can survive, that the average person cannot survive. What do you call that? What do you call the homeless? How many paychecks are most people away from being homeless? I don't know. It depends on where you are, right? It's all relative. But it's actually not. But my bottom line here is, it's not that far from you, believe me. You don't have to go that far. But I'm going to get out of here. And once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If I get a chance to come back later, maybe I'll show you the letter that they wrote to the senators regarding the data breach. And how many more investigations are people going to request? And I'm not just talking about on a state level. I'm talking about on a federal level. If there's corruption on all levels, what is an actual investigation going to prove? What will that do? Cost taxpayers some money. It's a slap on the wrist. Oh, we're sorry about that. We took it down. But luck with that. Watch your back. Talk to you guys later.